Suicide Nuggets, everybody. We got Archaea Bobby on live with us, folks. Welcome, Bobby.
Hello. By angel demand, I'm here. I love you all. Love you, Georgie. So good to be on a live stream with you, brother George.
Yeah, I know. Live stream is definitely, it's the platform for expression, just getting all the energy out, and it just helps move so much. And definitely that's what the ego tries to build up so much resistance to, because it knows it's ball time once we get in that arena.
For real.
So let's go.
For real. Like, I want to tell y'all, I literally was being pounded by the angels. They were like, go live, go live, go live. And I'm like, but what? Maybe later, maybe tomorrow. And they're like, nope, you're going to do it tonight. That is it. And they were not. They just kept repeating live stream. I pulled the live stream card for from the disciplines deck. And I was like, okay, all right, I got this. And then George swooped in and was like, go on with me. So here I am. I love you guys.
Yeah, definitely. And these energies too, these energies have been bringing up so many different things within us all. Definitely, the things that we've been letting slide for way too long, the things that we've been kind of brushing off for way too long, those are the things now as we go through this time period and this special energetic, channel canal that we're being squeezed through, it's going to compress all that back into our face and make us step up to those plates, because it's for us, but we got to get through all the belief systems and things we put in the way that's keeping us from it. So,
yes, we cannot bypass. We cannot bypass the messages as they come. You'll get those messages. You'll hear something. You'll go, oh. You'll hear like, you should go into the grocery store now. Do it now. And you can't bypass. You have to listen to these messages because they're here to help us, guide us along the way.
They were coming out of the dark, especially Scorpio season, that death and rebirth process, like the whole death of the old self, the parts of ourself that we have held back for so long, that are the detriment. We cannot move forward, we can't evolve, we can't grow, we can't mature if we're still going to keep playing the same old games with ourselves, make the same old choices. So definitely that's like, it is the irritation inside of us, but then we know we got to do it. So grateful that you just do push us and get us to step up to it, so we can claim that divinity for ourselves.
I can't hear you very well now, so I don't know if that's like a thing that for everyone, but I can't hear you very well, so I'm just gonna go with it. And if you're on Facebook, maybe they'll let us know.
Can you hear me now?
If it's just me. Yeah, I can hear you. It's just real soft. It got really soft all of a sudden, so it's probably just my phone.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me go to Facebook and check it. Hope we love you. Can you let Buddha know that he's being extremely loud? Yeah, thank you.
I can't believe how long it's been since I've been on a live stream.
Right?
Like, what is that? I love being on live streams. I don't know what my problem is. My problem is my ego. That is what the problem is. Right there. Life will try to distract you from all the things you should be doing by telling you, nah, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can do it tomorrow. It's not organic, right?
Right.
Ooh, now there's an echo.
It is too low.
What is happening?
Oh no, it is too low. Let's see. You can just go ahead and just keep talking, love, and then I'll figure out the sound thing and see if I can turn it up on mine.
I will. Okay, so this is what happened. I tapped in to look at the 19th gene key, which we've been talking about, that if you're not up on the gene key thing, I highly recommend you go to genekeys.com and get your profile and check out your gene keys. But another story. So I'm looking into that, and then it's about, being organically being a healer, and they're talking about speaking with people in groups. And I'm like, okay, I hear it. And one of the things that popped out, I was looking through the through the disciplines deck from through the daily disciplines deck, the Swan, and this card flew out of the deck. Release mantra, right? Which I have not really. I don't have a regard of pulling this card before. But it says, say aloud, I release all density, all distortions, all mind control, all everything trying to keep me down and hold me back on all dimensions. And that's the thing. Like, we know that everything is energy. So if we have those moments where we're distracted, or we're being pulled away from our evolutionary work, from anything, we have to, like, just say out loud, transform it, send it to the sun. I transform all blocks to my evolutionary ascension. Whatever the words come to you, make them yours, make them yours. But this is a beautiful mantra. I release all density, all distortions, all mind control, all and everything trying to keep me down and hold me back on all dimensions. That, like, beautifully covers all of it. And it's interesting that it popped out now. So I feel like that was something that the angels wanted everybody to hear. And I'll show you again. If you don't have this deck, I highly recommend getting this deck. 5D fulldisclosure.org. It's the daily disciplines deck, and it is amazing for those moments when you're like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm not really sure what to do next. That's a perfect time to pull a card. And maybe it's not from this deck. Maybe it's from whatever deck you have. But that's a beautiful time to pull a card. Get some guidance and get some direction. If you're in that space where you're like, I don't know. Get some direction. Find a way.
Yeah. How's the
How you
volume
doing
now?
with your volume?
Is it different?
No. So I'll just keep talking while you work with that.
Okay.
Maybe the angels want me to talk right now. Maybe that's what it is. But
That might be it.
so I was guided to bring it back to the beginning, right? That moment when you're waking up and you're like, holy shit, what that is happening? That is what? Because I don't know about you, but when I woke up, I was on a very, very, very intense spiritual journey for many, many moons, like 10 years. And I still had never heard about the planetary ascension. No one ever told me that. Even the most experienced spiritual guidance, or gurus, or whatever you want to call them, no one ever mentioned the ascension. So when I heard that, I was like, wait, what? Nah, come on. That's real. That's a thing. Yes. So when you have that moment, and that's what I feel this message is for, that many beings are going to start having those moments of, wait, what? That is real? That actually happened? Or you may have heard of something and completely bypassed it and not even known that you bypassed it. That's happening, and it's okay. It's okay for that moment of, no way is that real. That's your cue to dig in, to search, to dial in to what's actually happening. Because once I dialed in, I was blown away by the great grand things like finding mom. I mean, hello, that was amazing. But also the dark shit that we have to see. We have to see these things. We cannot any longer look away because it's uncomfortable, because it ruins your day, because you've got too much to do, or you just feel like you can't handle it, or it's just too much, or I can't do anything. That's a big one, right? That's a big one. People are saying, oh, I can't do anything about it, so why should I pay attention to it? These are the moments when those little things come in, like, maybe that is true. That's your cue. And it starts small. You don't have to go like all in and watch the fall cabal like I did. Like, you don't have to go all in immediately and get it all at one time. You may be guided to, but just start. If you have any part of you that's in you that's saying, huh, maybe that is true. Just start looking. Because once you start, your soul will be, your higher self is going to be like, sweet, let's go. And it's going to guide you. And there's going to be times where there's like, oh, I can't take anymore. And this is too much. But it's okay, because your higher self will always kick in. Your angels will always kick in. Your angels will always be there to say, it's okay, you got this. You got this. And you'll always be given reminders or reharders, that it's going to be okay. Even through the finding the darkest stuff out there, because that's what's coming, right? For humanity. That's what's coming. The dark shit that everybody looked away from is going to be in your face. And in those moments, trust that God, that your higher self, that your angels are going to give you equal energy of comfort and peace, along with whatever else you're bombarded with. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Absolutely.
I don't know. That's what I have.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
It sounds better?
It sounds better.
Yes, I picked the right button. There's like a million buttons on this thing, so I was just like clicking through the different ones. All right, cool. So it sounds better, louder. It sounds clear. All
Does that
good.
sound better to everybody out there?
Let me like pull. Sounds better. Yes, it sounds perfectly fine. All right, we're back in business, baby. All right,
Angels
so
don't play. Angels are like, she's got shit to say, so we're going to have that happen, and then we're going to bring it back.
no, and no, and please keep talking. Keep sharing. I feel there was definitely a whole lot more. That was just kind of like the plug that's gonna unstop all the stuff that needs to flow outwards. So definitely keep that coming. Just want to add on to that. Definitely that. It's very reflective again of like the season we're in with all the different death and rebirth processes, and facing those deeper, darker parts of yourself. And like the main thing, learning humility, for ourselves and for other people. Learning to humble yourself. You're not trying to be so prideful, even with you. That is a thing that we do. Our pride literally goes so deep within this human race that we're even prideful against our own self. We're so stubborn to our own defaults that we will sabotage even our own self, knowing we're doing it. So it's just time now to face those parts of ourselves that like come clean. We know we've been doing it. It's an old redundant, broken loop. It's time just to switch it to something else. But what is that? And actually feeling into and working through to the solution of that. What is that new something that's going to fill this spot now? If we're going to truly transition out of this, so definitely a big question for everyone.
No, it's true. It's true. And another thing that keeps coming up, the messages that keep coming up are stop being so hard on yourself. There mom said before she left, there's no wrong way to do this from here on out. Stop being so hard on yourself. Staying present. And staying present is another thing that keeps coming back. Mastering the art of staying present. What does that mean? Right? It means that even what happened 5 minutes ago is 5 minutes ago. Right here, 5 minutes ago doesn't matter. So that's literally why there's no wrong way to do this, because each moment is different. Each moment changes. The timelines change. People make different decisions. Who was going to go right went left, and things change. We stay present, and that is key. That's how mom got through this world. That's how we were meant to get through this world. Staying present. There's a lot of information coming out. There's a lot of fear coming out. There's a lot of, well, I wonder if that's really going to happen on this date. And that, no, it doesn't matter, because it can change. So stay right here. Stay where you know. That's where the ego can't touch you, right? When you're present, stay right here. I am definitely one that gets hit with hearing what people say I should be doing, or where I should be, or what should no. Trust your heart. Trust the guidance that you're getting, and your guidance is for you. And if you feel to share, like I felt to share today, sweet. If it resonates, awesome. If it doesn't, awesome. Like that's the way it rolls.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, and a lot of that is too like attaching to the external. And I've been I've been sharing like that about that a couple times throughout the last couple of streams about the externalization and how everything we've put so far out of ourselves, that's what's being targeted. During this time frame of the energy, that's what's getting pushed back into the experience, and you're directly having to face that part of yourself now. Without your choice. It's just now it's time's up. We've played the card of escape and aloofness and disassociate. We've done it for so long for too much, basically. Where we've used up that time, volume slot that we had. If there was chances that we had, we've used them. They're long gone. They're dry. So now this is where the tough lessons start really kicking in. Where people definitely take it so personally, but a lot of it is it's still like you said. It's not. It doesn't matter what's going on the world stage, politically, what anyone's got going on, because it's still not about them. It's not about what's happening. That's just a process. It's just a part of the transition. Where everything's still changing. It can change literally in a moment. But if you're using your choice to change off of what's happening now, you're completely off track. That's how we get out of alignment and off the timeline, is by externalizing so much. That's our guidance there. What the world is doing is what we choose, and that's not. That's the flip of it. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the very real opposite end of the spectrum, right? Like yes, be in the moment. Yes, be organic. Yes, you know, don't force things and don't feel like when you feel like you have to do something. But there's the very other real end of the spectrum is that we got to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
We got to be ready because the energy that's coming, and I know this was touched on in the Daily Show with Hope and Aurora, and I know that you've touched on this. The reality is that when this pops, and it's gonna pop, we got to be ready for the people that are willing and open and ready to receive the energy that's going to be put out, which is the fear and the doubt and the shame and the anxiety and all that lower stuff. We got to be ready in the sense of we have to be able to discern that it is not ours, that it's energy, and we have to simply transform it. We don't have to embody it. We don't have to go into all these memories, whether they're real or false. I mean, we don't know. We have no idea. But what is very real, what we do know is that when people are all freaked out, you can feel it, right? You walk in a room and you're like, oh, this feels negative. Or you walk in a room and you feel like, yeah, I want to dance on a table. Like there is definite energy that you can feel. So imagine that energy magnified by 7 billion, 8 billion people. And that
Right.
energy has to go somewhere. It has to be transformed. And those of us that are doing the work, that are leveling up, that are becoming the masters at transforming, the energy is going to come to us. So, yes, we do have work to do. It is not a time to be complacent. It is not a time to be like, oh, I'm good where I am and it's okay that I do whatever I'm doing. Honor whatever feelings are coming in, but this ascension is a very real thing and it's definitely happening. And if you are one of us that has been doing the work and been leveling up, then it's going to come to you. So are you ready? Are you ready for that? Are you ready to like feel into, is this mine? Is it the collective? It's both, because energy comes to you, whatever's in you, but also when you become the master, that's when like more of it comes. And you got to be able to release it. You got to be able to go, nope, not mine. I send that to the fucking sun.
Right.
I transform it, and instant transformation. And that's the goal. Instant transformation, I feel, I mean, the word goal is very 3D, but that's the work. Like to be able to feel it instantly and not have it take over even 10 minutes, but be able to go, okay, I feel it, I see it, I transform all feelings of lack, or I transform all fear, or I transform all shame for not dialing in. Whatever it is, it's going to come. And that's what we have to be ready for. It's a lot. But how awesome is it? What an honor. What an honor to be aware of this job that we have to do. It's huge. It's gigantor. It's why it's amazing, George, that you come on every day and speak the words that you speak. Like, you're definitely touching so many people and guiding so many people in that daily show with Hope and Aurora, and in the morning with Buddha and Jeri. Like, it's not to be taken lightly, but it's also not to freak out. So it's, I don't know. I don't know. It's also like not to like obsess about and that's where it comes back to being present. It's not to be like, oh my gosh, am I not doing enough? What am I? Maybe I should sit down and study for 3 hours. Like that's your ego coming in. So it just takes work. We all got work to do. I guess that's probably why I was meant to come on here today. It's just to say, when you get to a point where it's no longer guidance and it's feeling forced, or it's feeling stressed, or you're giving yourself shame or guilt, those are the moments where you take a step back and go look in the mirror and look into your eyes and say, you know what? I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be right now. Rehearse yourself. I am divine present moment of now.
Yeah, I agree. Got transfer obsession. I was like just trying to like, as you were talking, I was like fixated over the whole title thing over the stream. I was like, oh, I didn't change the stream title, and then I like you're sitting there trying to like figure out if I can change it midstream or whatever. Just like let it go. It doesn't matter. I'll change it after the stream's done. It's not like it hasn't happened before. Or we have little. It is what it is. All the little triggers, I love them. I'm grateful for them. Let's go.
Well, we don't
Let's
do
play
this a
them.
lot, right? We don't do
Yeah,
this a
right. It
lot.
was quite a thing trying to put this together, so I'm proud of myself. Got it all up and running, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So
Yeah,
if that's the casualty at this point, I'll take the hit. It's all good.
it's all good.
Like,
And those that are listening right now know us well enough to know that we are organic and we go with the flow. So if it's frozen and you can only hear us, then you're meant to listen.
yeah,
If you can't hear us and you only see us, then you're meant to pay attention to what's happening.
right, absolutely. But also definitely with what you were sharing too, um, definitely just with everything going on and just like the different just like different life changes. We've had so many different life changes. So many people, like not only in this country, just like this whole pandemic as one thing, has affected so many different lives in a lot of different ways, and just changed how people live, their lifestyle, what they are, what they're afraid of, what they're confident of, what they'll be vulnerable with. Now at this point, it's really set humanity back in a lot of ways, but also brought a lot of things forward, to the surface that we needed to look at first. It's not always about the sprint to heaven. It's a lot of it's about what's keeping you from getting there too. And that's where nobody wants to look at. They don't want to look at those parts.
Right.
They want to keep it level and just look up at the sky. They don't want to look down. It's like that's what's making your journey so long. Is trying to put that off for so long. I used to be a massive procrastinator. The worst kind. Just like putting things off, and then I had like this weird like ability. Like I liked working under pressure, so it's almost like I would push off to the last minute, and then I would get a kick out of like having to do it, stressing myself out with anxiety, and then I would think that was my best work, and it was like such a weird self sabotage type thing to put myself through such a spin all the time instead of just you know doing the work, applying myself ahead of the time, being prepared. Like I never supported or loved myself enough to care about those parts of my experience, and so it was always like this massive crash in the highway that I got to be a part of, and I did it. I totally was the one that put it all together, and so definitely for everybody out there, with our behavioral patterns, our belief systems, and things that we have just been going on for too long with, that just got to drop them, got to change, got to mature, got to grow up. Not necessarily as an adult, but necessarily as like stop doing the lower frequency stuff, like the wars and the battles and the arguments with each other. It's like it's not worth it anymore. And you can
No.
feel how exhausting it is, the draining of it. It's time to just, what's the solution here? Like cut the whole like volcano eruption. Like, what's the solution? Like, fast forward, just get to that part.
Yeah. It brings a whole new meaning to the phrase you're your own worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really truly is astounding how much we can get in our own way. And I keep like angels keep giving me like the vision of like little tiny bubbles popping, which is like telling me that humanity is waking up, either whether we can feel it or not, whether we can see it or not, whether they're saying it out loud or not. Humanity is waking up,
Yeah.
and it's those little tiny bubbles. Like, huh? Maybe I should read that article. Like it's so simple because now I feel these beings that have signed up to wake up last. That's huge. So not for everyone can it be a big like oh, I can't do it. Like they're the little tiny bubbles, the little tiny nuggets like you do every day. The nuggets. That's what humanity is doing in these moments. And patience is tough because we all are like ready for everybody to get it. But little teeny by little teeny tiny bubble, people are getting it. People are getting it. I have faith most of the time. Most of the time I feel like humanity's getting it. Then I'll run across something, but you know, it's gonna be okay. That's what I've always said, and that's what always comes back to me is it's gonna be okay. And sometimes just it's good to hear that. Everything's gonna be okay. Even if you feel like, what the fuck just happened? It's going to be okay because something will always come around if you once you are raise your level of awareness, something will always come around that will heart you that yes, everything is truly going to be okay. It's confusing times.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you
We
were
got
sharing with the
this.
bubbles too. What's that? Were you saying something, Bobby?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just sharing like
My what I'm seeing is it delayed?
you're kind of glitchy a little bit.
A little glitchy. Well, you share and I'll see what I can figure out.
Okay. Um, so basically, what you were sharing about the beginning of that, about the bubbles, you're having visions of little bubbles, and there's humanity waking up, and this is why a good point to make where you can't undervalue the power of prayer, and sending out, the love vibration, speaking out to the collective, positive affirmations, every morning, when mom wake up in the morning time, it was prayer meditations in the morning time, and she was showing us as the embodiment of God that, that kind of, you know, not only stable practice, but also that intention. Because it wasn't for her; it was for the world. It was for the planet. It was for humanity to wake up, for peace and love. Synchronicities and magic. Balanced harmonics onto the planet. That's what those moments are spent for. So if people would just, us, the awakened ones, we can just get in a natural state of just doing this all the time throughout the day. Like when we were we're in 3D, where you would have so many moments you feel with low frequencies and just garbage that comes out of your mouth. Why not flip that and uplift the collective? Every word that you share or say it's positive, it's expansive, it's deep. It provides a different you know lens onto the reality, and for people to hear that, people to be around that, it helps change and grow. So again, just like prayer, meditation, saying things out loud. You know, it may not be an auditory, like actually physically hearing it in your ear, but that's something the collective can feel. You know, and as people are waking up, that's something that they will feel. It's not just like this one-time thing where you like, come on, everybody wake up. You do it one time, and then they feel that 5 years later. No, like the more you do it, it builds like a basically a vibrational rhythm, a resonance. Thank you, angels. A resonance, and that reverberates outward. It magnifies through the whole globe. And so the more you keep that going, it builds more momentum. It gets stronger and stronger, and it starts penetrating through those walls of unconsciousness. So as more and more of us wake up, the more that we express, using our ability to express and put into the world love, truth, joy, happiness, then that's gonna override. It's gonna flip those lower frequencies and be able to penetrate the ones who are in deep sleep. They're gonna be able to feel that through the numbness and start to move towards that light. So, just interesting to take on
that. Yeah, it's a lot. I can't imagine being at this stage of the game and just now learning about what's really happening in the world. Just now learning at this stage of the game that we've been lied to our whole entire lives.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine. I'm grateful to have woken up when I did. And for those of you that don't know, I'm 51 years old. I went my entire life not knowing shit. But once you see it, you see it. And I can't imagine. So that's why it's so important that we keep doing these live streams so people know who to reach out to. You're not alone. If you have that moment that you're like, no, get in touch with one of us. We're here for you. You don't have to do this alone. We have our Telegram chat, 5D Full Disclosure 17, Telegram. There's always somebody on there ready to go, ready to talk. Because it's a lot. It's gonna be a lot. And even for the most open-hearted person that again with where I was, I was very much full of love and positivity and all, and even for the most open-hearted person, it's still a lot. And so you're not crazy, you're not wrong. If you start losing your friends and family, they're gonna come back. It's only temporary. It's gonna be okay, and you have a whole sea of people that are ready to support you, so don't be afraid.
Absolutely, community and support, but also this is the test of beings, definitely learning to speak up for themselves, express, learning to ask, learning, that I definitely, I was, it was part of my experience too growing up, part of my hot-headedness and thinking I know better is, the mental competition with others, being afraid to be the one that was on the outside. So I feel like I always had to be, always had to compete, always had to be right, always had to, being the lead. It was more of a survival thing, because you didn't want to be, saw as the weak link, So like a lot of people have developed this pride and also this like stubbornness with themselves, where they know they need help, they know they need support or guidance or to express themselves, but they don't know how, and they're too prideful to actually open their mouth and ask for it. They've it's almost like, over those years you dug that hole so deep that you don't realize how deep you are in it when like until like that moment comes where you realize you really need help, but you don't even know how to ask now at this point, because you've created this persona for yourself, this personality, this lifestyle where you created this existence for yourself where you didn't need it, didn't want it, shut it out, and that's where it's gonna be a big test for those kinds of people to flip that and come back into receiving and opening up and being vulnerable and admitting to themselves that maybe they had it, wrong. And that's going to be the biggest test, because that's the whole thing that they've spent their whole life on doing is, always trying to be ahead and be right the whole time. And now it's like catch 22. You did the same thing to yourself. Like, the ego got you anyway, so.
Right. And it's okay if you were wrong. Look, all of y'all that are
Yes.
listening out there, whether you're listening to it now or listening to it in 2 years, whatever, it's okay that you were wrong. We were all wrong until we found the truth. We were all wrong. We all thought we knew what the hell was going on. We thought I was telling people there is no hell. There's no hell. There's no Satan. There's nothing. There's only God. Like, we were all wrong. It's okay. I hated Donald Trump. I still have posts coming up that's like, Trump's a douchebag. Like, I didn't know. I was along for the ride. I was following the crowd. I was like, well, my friends hate Trump, so I'll hate him too. Like, I didn't care. But I get it. It's not easy to admit that you're wrong. It's not easy to admit that you treated someone like shit because you thought you were right. It's hard to do that. But in that is so much healing. Admit to your kids. Try that. Go look at your kid in the eye and go, man, I really fucked up. Like, I really made some bad choices. Try it. Because the healing that comes after that and the healing that comes from your child that comes from that is beyond words. It's okay to be wrong. No one's judging you. That's the thing that people don't get, is those of us that have opened up to the truth, passed through the illusion, what people don't get is that we're not going to judge you because we're done judging people. We processed that. We went through that already. We're not going to judge you. All we're going to do is open our arms and love you. That's it. That doesn't suck. That's a beautiful thing. Don't be afraid. I have so many people in my life right now that I know get it, but they're not going to tell me because they were horrible during very crucial moments. But I love you. And I know that people watching have those people in their lives that are like, that are being nasty and that are projecting all their fear onto you, but they're going to get it. And all of you that were those people that were projecting all their shit, it's okay. We love you. I love you. It's going to be okay. But you got to stop now. You know, it's that moment where you got to stop and go, okay, all this stuff sounds crazy, but a lot of people are saying it, so maybe I should dial it now. Start there. It's okay. It's tough. It's tough roads coming. Those people that are still asleep, that are still like fighting, like, oh, get the jab and wear your mask, and all those people, man, they got some karma. They got some things coming. Not even I don't even feel it's so much about karma, but it's about the lessons. It's about understanding what you've done and learning the ability to let it go. It's a lot. That's okay. It's gonna be okay.
Yep, I agree. And I have been one of those people that have spent many years cultivating quite a lot of hatred and rage. A lot of people that from my past and just continuing to push forward in life, into mission, and the people that I thought, quote unquote, I thought I lost, because I was still in that mentality, um, with the ego mind and all that, but at this point it's like all the rage and everything, like that hatred inside that you build up by being just like shunned and and feeling betrayed and outed, just because people can't see you for who you are and what you're saying doesn't resonate at that point in time, and just the cruelty you really experience from people, even people that you thought loved you, like all that. Like, definitely I have been one of those people who have had so much hatred, like vengeful hatred inside, like one day, you're gonna get it, like in a very low way, into where like it was almost like this, just to say I told you so type thing, just to like get to smile on people's face, when they're hurting, when they're down, they're going through it, and they're miserable. Finally, like I saw myself a lot of years back, being being the one to smile on their face and be like, yeah, well, fuck you, like this is what you get, for doing that. I was so vengeful, and I know that's for a lot of people, especially in the light worker community, because there's a lot of people who have been awake for a long time, and they have been pushing through different efforts to wake humanity up, to outreach and to express these different things, and they have not been treated well. They have not been treated kindly, by the rest of humanity, and these are things that we definitely need to address ourselves. We need to check ourselves, because even though we are here for that purpose to deliver the message of the divine, And to push this ascension forward, we got to check in on ourselves because we have sustained trauma. We have sustained, abuse and definitely like lower or just crazy experiences that we have to process, forgive, and let go. And that helps us be more open and vulnerable with everyone and ourselves too, and not just get stuck in this whole, blame game and just, disassociation, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is something that I have been speaking of a lot lately, sharing about on Facebook. What people don't get is that when people are dysfunctional around you, when you have kids that are acting out or doing weird things or being like whatever, when you have arguments with people, it's because that is within you.
Mm-hmm.
So that is your moment to go, oh, okay, what do I got to figure out? What do I have to squash? That is a clear indicator of where what your next direction can be. And people are so ready to point their finger, and you did this, and my mom did this to me, and my dad this to me, and I was bullied when I was a kid. Yeah, all that sucked. All that totally sucked. But in this moment, is that really why you are being who you're being? Is that really why you're in the dysfunction that you're in? We call these experiences to us because they're already there.
Right.
And I like the energy, a lot of people don't understand how energy works, and I get that too, and I love that we have sessions that will certainly guide people through that part to understand how energy works. But the bottom line is that if something is dysfunctional around you, it's for your moment to look at yourself, to go look in the mirror and look at your own eyes and say, all right, what is this lesson that I meant to see? What do I need to squash? What do I have? What is my part in this? And it's not even about going back to memories or whatever. I keep going back to that too. It's about literally acknowledging that you have the energy of arrogance, or I have the energy of lack, or I have the energy of not loving myself or whatever, and seeing it, feeling it, transforming it. And you might need to transform it a million times in a day and do ceremony after ceremony to finally lock it in. But that's where it starts. Mirrors. We're all mirrors. And I don't even know if I'm making any sense right now, George. I have no idea. I just know that the messages are coming in like really fast, and I'm trying to decipher what's happening.
No, you're completely right, love. You're on it. And this will definitely provide a lot of awareness for people too. With for energy to transform, it needs a physical vessel to be consciously realized through. If everybody else is on the same page, meaning so basically, energy for it to finish its completion, for it to have a full transformation, it needs a living vessel to consciously come through that, because we're awake. We sense, we touch, we have taste, we have eyeballs, we can see different things. We are consciously awake. We can realize things. Energy needs a physical body to provide a host, basically, and then experience itself through that physical body. Okay? So we've got that down. So what is happening on this planet is there's so many different energies on this planet that have been on this planet for a long, long time. Plus, all the energies that have been coming out as we keep living forward generation after generation. The very fact that you are living right now is you are putting off energy, frequencies. Every thought you have is putting off energy into this world. And so you either have higher frequencies or lower frequencies, higher thoughts and ideas or lower thoughts and ideas. This fills up this planet. So you can only imagine over the whole duration of humanity's existence, how long we've been here on this planet, we have filled quite a bit of energy on this planet that we have not been at a high enough vibration or consciousness for a long time to be able to even deal with that. So what is taking place now, what Mom has done such an amazing job and work in preparing us for is getting all the timelines to blend together into one. And this allows us just to focus on being higher consciousness, higher vibration, and if we can just maintain that, just focus on being of a higher energy, then our physical bodies are already wired and set to go to where it will allow all this excess junk energy to come into our body, process, filter through, become realized. And this is all the different moments where you fight with yourself. This will also give more insight to everybody too, where you fight with yourself internally, where you fight with your thoughts, or you have crazy, wild thoughts that you struggle with, that you don't think are yours, or that you think someone's talking to you, all these different things. These are all different parts of yourself, right? And so this experience, how we need to open up, be more vulnerable, because a lot of these energies may or may not be yours, right? So that's why automatically we just take accountability. We just take full responsibility, accountability for the energy, because it may or may not be yours, but your body, your vessel, was the strongest in the radius that the energy was in to go to transform. It's a high honor. It's very a big reflection of your energy, of who you are, the work you've done so far, how much light you hold inside your being. That's where it's going to pull that energy. And so, I'm not really sure where I was going with that, but basically,
I feel that way too. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't know. I keep getting like, where was I going with that? I feel you.
Oh, there it is. So like the physical body. So that's basically what's happening on this planet. So as we keep moving up into higher vibrations, our physical bodies are able, as we move forward, to take on more and more and more energy. That means we are processing more and more of the energy on this planet that has to get filtered off the planet. Okay, meaning we have a set amount of energy already, and it's up to all of humanity to process all of that energy out so the new energy can come in, right?
Right.
The only way that's going to get transformed is by moving through a physical vessel. That means a human being that's consciously awake, that's at a level to where they can process, they can transform. When those lower thoughts or ideas or urges come through, are you of a higher, vibration or consciousness enough to be able to flip that into a higher idea, a higher truth, be able to, not go into the temptation or whatever it is, or whatever that is, like need beings who can be in vibration of love, while the lower energies come in, and we can help that guide back to love. Basically, that makes so much more sense, because a lot of people have resistance to, once you reach a certain part of spirituality, or like, people, there's a certain part of the light worker community where, they don't want to be near certain things. We're like, oh, well, that's dark, or that's this, and that's like, well, this is what you're here to transform. This is what you're here for. And the biggest lights are going to, they're going to attract the darkest energies, because that means you are now capable of transforming them. But that's what our ego tries to flip as a resistance, and we try to create this, this whitewashed reality, like, oh, well, everything's just holy and clean and divine, and like there's no ego here. It's like, come on, like we're here to go through the mud and clear that out. So like, there's no way you're going to be going through that with like, alabaster white stone and then just crimson windows and just like, oh yeah, it's all good. Like,
Right. And you know what? If you're that person that has no fucking clue what we're talking about, like you could be watching this right now and be like, what are they even saying? Because that is where it starts. Like, what does that even mean? Energy and vessels and what? That is okay. Book a session. Book your first session with us. Let us guide you through it. We have been trained and we are here for you because it is a lot. There are many, 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 many layers and many dimensions and so much coming in along with all the shit that's coming in with the world. So if you're in that place, book a session. And if you're worried like, oh, I don't have any money or whatever, talk to us because we want, God wants, mom wants, whatever you want to refer anything to, it's important for you to have this information. So don't let anything stop you. Nothing stop you. If you're in that place, and I I feel like there's so many people in that place right now that are like, oh, that's just too much. Like, I don't even know what he's saying. I don't understand the words that are coming out of his mouth. I get it. I get it. There was a time last year where I was like, I don't even know how to explain what energy is. I get it. How do I even explain it? I don't understand it. You will get there. There's a lot to learn, but you got to start. You have to start. You have to take that leap into, all right, it sounds like a bunch of craziness, but it resonates for whatever reason. So I'm going to make that call, make the call, send the email, send us a message, and start. We're here to help.
That's such a refresher too, because I forget so quickly and easily how like this is not normal for other people. So like like a simple question like that, and we're definitely not making fun of you or anything like that. Like how does energy work or what is that? Like I forget that people like still are new. Some people are new to this, and that's good. That's that's the next wave coming online. But I just like once you get so used to a lifestyle and you're living like this is what we live and breathe every day. So it's like are there people that don't do that? Like yeah, of course. Like
Yeah.
it's so easily to misplace that, but you
Yeah.
know.
It's a beautiful thing to be amongst angels and talk angel talk. And that's one of my favorite things about this ascension, about this evolution, about this journey is the conversations that we have are 1000% different than any conversation that I had before I found mom and before I woke up. And you everyone out there, you will get there. You just have to understand, it's like the more awarenesses you get, the more words you understand, or the more phrases or the more concepts you understand. It's raising your level of awareness, and every time you raise the level of awareness, it's like you read something. And I mean, now I was reading the Gene Keys book, and I'm like, I would never have understood any of this 2 years ago. I would have been like, that's for smart people, and I'm done with this book. For real. But now I'm reading it like a champ, and I'm like, wow. But it's not because I became more, because I am brilliant. It's because I had raised my levels of awareness. And when you raise those levels, you have different conversations, and you start to understand those conversations in a different way than you ever heard them before. And before you know it, you're understanding a very scientific book with big words and big phrases, and it will be like, oh, I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just have to start. But there are so many out there that are afraid to start because it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't compute. It doesn't make sense. I didn't learn that before, so nope, I'm not going to even go there because why? You know what I mean? But it's okay. That's why we're here. That's why we've developed all these sessions. That's why we do the live streams. That's why we have Telegram. We have a million ways you can get in touch with us. That's why we're here. So talk to us.
This brings about an interesting idea, or um, this is an interesting idea I've had over the years. Definitely because you can see how like this whole belief system about like the 100 years or less, the sprint against life that humanity is doing and has been doing for generations. You get only a set amount of years. This is what you've got. Do it. Make the most of it, and then that's it. You're out. And this fear of the end, the fear of dying, and like the wanting to live, your life to the fullest before your time's up, and that whole fear where, definitely, like modern society paints humanity as definitely speeding, like accelerating, like on a highway, trying to like really make it to that American dream before they're too old or they die or whatever, or they have some kind of cancer or disease or something like that. And that usually they have it set in their mind. That usually comes about around like the 50 to 70, 80 range. If they make it that far. If they don't, they don't die young. But all these different scenarios, and where definitely I remember like there was like this very impressionable energy as a young child growing up, to where no matter where I was at, which family members I was around, grandma, aunts, uncles, or different people, it felt like people were literally moving too slow. Not It wasn't really about like pace, like running or walking fast. It literally felt like slow, like talking in monotone, People just not really expressive, not really a lot of facial, features at all. Just like really like this slowed down, like just like literally trying to resist, the end,
Yeah.
resisting the end of time, or their clock that's close. And especially I saw in a lot of older generations, like needing to wind down, needing to tone down life. I'm not that young anymore, so I don't need to be doing all of that. Like literally trying to slow it down as much as they can to play as safe as possible, to try to prolong these years that they don't feel are. If you break it out and actually dissect it like that, it's a big thing that sits within the programming of humanity in a lot of ways, and it dictates behavior. It dictates emotions and what people decide as their life's purpose, what's their life work, and how much time do they have left to do that, and is this really feasible and financially reasonable? Like, it decides so many things in our life, and we don't realize how much power we're giving to them.
Yes. Yes. It's true. And when you start to realize how much power we've been giving away, how much power, how much of the consent that we have given without even realizing it, that's where you gain your power back. That's where you're like, huh, I really can stand up and say, no, I'm not doing that, or whatever. Like, that's where you find your power. It's why whole truth heals. It's why your ego doesn't want you to know the truth, because your ego knows that whole truth heals.
Yeah.
It's all combined.
And here's the flip of things, where we disempowered ourselves. The reason why we gave our power away were in moments of fear, where we
Yeah.
didn't feel we could, protect ourselves, be brave, courageous, confident, whatever. Our power was given away in moments of fear. So the way back to that empowerment, that power that's externalized now, that we have to take our power back, you're gonna have to go through the same fear to get your power back.
Right.
So that's definitely the part of the process where a lot of people are resistant. They, it's kind of like that. What is that, angels? Like this, like it is like that prince and princess programming. It's like, oh, can we just get over this? Can we just get past this? Like literally not wanting to embrace the journey, or like the accountability, responsibility, just wanting to like get to like the sweet stuff, trying to blow past it real quick. And I feel like this is the parts of us that mom's really gaslighting as well too. Um, Phil's going somewhere else with that, but I just feel like this is like definitely something coming to the surface where like where we are very superficial even with ourselves, and that's where we can kind of play with the energies and manipulate and enable ourselves, be deceptive, all kinds of different things, and this is also the talking about integrity, and integrity has a like that, and divinity is like so hand in hand, and mom was so serious about
Yeah.
that with integrity, honoring your truth, honoring your words, and even in like even people's thoughts, even if other people can't, not a lot of people can't hear your thoughts, or feel your thinking, or pick up on something, in the general area what your thoughts are in that moment, that does not mean you're not accountable for what they are, because that's still sending energy out. It's still creating things and manifesting things. And so, again, we have a lot of maturity that we have to definitely level up on, to be able to, you know, not really rule but govern ourselves, manage our own energetics in the right way of
Yeah.
love, even the parts that are not seen to others. And that's part of integrity. That's no one can really do that for you. You have to be able to catch yourself in
Yeah. And look, y'all, I want to say this to every single person that's listening right now. Don't think for one moment that any of us are ever saying that we got this and you have work to do. We all are working. We're all
that.
doing the work. We're all transforming. We all acknowledge that we are not, any of us are there yet. So we share what we are guided to share, and the tools and practices that work, but it doesn't mean that we're not doing it too. It doesn't mean that we're in any way feeling that we're superior to anyone. We've just been doing the work a little longer and have a way to teach and pay it forward. It's
Oh
a
yeah.
tough place. It's a tough place to be in. There's a lot of craziness happening, George. A lot of craziness happening in the world. It's a lot going on out there. A lot of fear, a lot of nonsense, a lot of not stuff coming out that's not true. A lot of stuff that coming out is true. And how do you know what is it? That is why we say, Master, staying present. Mother God says, Master, staying present, because whatever happens around you, we're not going to know the answers. We are not going to know the answers to what's happening tomorrow in the government. We're not going to know. They're not going to tell us. No one is going to tell you exactly what's happening. So the more we search with trying to find out what's happening with Q or what's happening with Biden or Trump or whatever, no one's going to tell us the truth. The only truth we have is what's in our hearts. The only truth is what we have, what we feel and we hear, and what we hear in our hearts, what we hear from God. That's why we have to focus on staying present. Stay present right here. Move forward. Don't stay like stuck right here, but stay present. It's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. That's all I know.
Definitely a thing, and this is important to realize too. You know, this is a lot of times why, you know, and mom definitely trained us in a lot of ways with information. And there's tactful moments. You know, just because the awareness is given, or just because there is an awareness, doesn't mean the whole world needs to know in that moment. You know, and you know, learning to be tactful, because not everybody is in the same space. Not everyone is in the same consciousness, and the rest of the world still suffers with attachments, with obsession, with lower perspective, lower thoughts. You know, so the same information is not going to resonate and be received the same way by all the people on the planet. You know, and that's very something very, you know, to definitely keep in heart with anything any of us go forward and express or share with anybody, that you know, even though you may be aware, even though you have seen it, even though you can feel it, they may not even be anywhere close to that mark. You know, and it's
Or
very.
even though if you're ready, even
Mm-hmm.
if you're ready to hear it, doesn't mean that the other person is ready. Like, it's that simple.
Right.
Exactly, George.
You just gotta trust. You just gotta embrace, and that's also too. And I have had that as well, where you know, a lot of times throughout 3D, and especially it got really big with Reiki and everything like that. It was like really big validation. It's like, even though I knew it was, you know, like it was doing things, and it was, and people were having very powerful experiences, I constantly had to keep asking them, you know, like what was this? Did this happen? You know, is this gone? This, and you're like, I had to constantly go back and recheck and reaffirm. You know, it's not having trust, not having, you know, and just really, we have to move forward and just, you know, decide that whether this is the moment that they are fully open and ready for it, or this is the moment we're planting the seed. It doesn't matter. This is you know, this experience happening now. So, you know, whether this is the, you know, start A or the end of B, you know, you still got to play your part, participate, express, but also being
Yeah.
tactful. You know, being like not really careful or cautious, just being aware of what you are saying, and if it's something, you know, like being able to feel the other person, you know, being able to be, you know, receptive and feel the other person, like is this something that's going to support them? Is this going to take them further down into lower frequencies, so you have a bigger issue you're going to deal with? It's like, is this the highest time to share this information as well? And it's like, you know,
Right.
and you have to feel into that. And mom gave us that training about, you know, there's a moment, and even though awareness is you know, obtained, you know, there's still a moment where other consciousness can be aware of it, because the consciousness on this planet is powerful, and it will dictate a lot of things. And so there is a pinnacle thing set in the timeline, and then all the planet became aware of that plan or that moment, the timeline. We could dictate it at that point. And with everyone on this planet going through low frequencies and superego and like things with war and bloodlust and like hatred and rage and fear and all those different things, that would all mix into that timeline, and it would completely throw it off in a heartbeat. So actually, it's way highest for us not to know, for us to actually
Yeah.
be unaware, because that way, the timeline is safe. Our spot on the timeline is safe, and what the ego is not aware of, it cannot fuck with. And that's
Right.
exactly where God wants to keep humanity in a lot of moments as we keep going through the expansions, because the ego will try anything at this point to sabotage anything or anyone or even itself, to pull itself lower into lower frequencies. So, but what it doesn't know, it can't fuck with, and so like that is
Right.
the perfect space to be in.
Yep. 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 It, there's so much. There's so much. I feel like I'm feeling in this moment all the confusion of like there's so much information and there's so much happening and there's so like yes, focus on your journey, and yes, be aware of what's happening, and yes, guide your children into 5D, and yes, quit sacrificing it. Like there's so many, it's coming, right? But and I feel like it's because we all had moments to go slowly. Mom
Yeah.
gave us all moments to go slowly and ease into this, and we didn't. We chose not to. So now those of you that are coming in now that are like, hold on, it's okay. It's okay. But now you got to get to work. Now you gotta say, all right, I'm ready. Let's dial in and do this. It's
Gotta embrace it.
gotta embrace it. It's gonna be okay. It is all gonna be okay. Daily reharder. Look at your child and watch your child laugh, or look at any child walking down the street, and when you see them laugh, there's your reharder from the angels that everything's going to be okay. Because if they're laughing, then we're good. If we still got kids laughing, then we're good. Look at your animals. Look at the animals around you. If your animals aren't freaking out, everything's okay. You'll know. You'll see it. They'll let you know if there's a problem. So if your animals are good, then you're good. Take a deep breath. It's safe. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know.
No, my
I
angels are
feel like there's
usually.
so many different messages coming in at the same time, and I'm not really articulating very well, but I feel like you guys know what I mean.
Oh no, you're beautiful. You're good. Like definitely, I feel it's. Um, oh, we have a hand up. Oh, wait a minute.
Sweet.
Megan wants to speak. Megan, you are unmuted.
Hey,
Hi, beautiful.
hey, who's talking? I love her.
This is Bobby.
Hello.
Um,
I love
Booby?
you too. Yes, Aunt Booby.
Oh my gosh, I love you so much.
I love you too.
That's all I got, guys. I'm like just stressed out, kind of, and I mean, I don't know. I asked who was talking, and nobody answered, and so I just figured I'd raise my hand.
Sweet. I'm glad you did. It's me.
Oh yeah, I guess we should answer or probably say that at the beginning of each stream. But like, we can't hear anything you're sharing until we unmute you. I can only see the like flagged hand. That's it. So sorry about that.
Well, thank you, Megan. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Just dealing with a toddler, you know. Oh, yeah, she'll be 3 on the 7th, so yeah, that's all. I don't know. I'm kind of nervous. I don't really talk much. I mean, I chat and I can text, but I'm not good at talking.
Well, look at you leveling up. You pushed past a fear. Right on, sister.
Thank you.
It's going to be okay. That's my message for you. It's going to be okay. Toddler threes. Whoo. it's a beautiful, fun age, and it's also like when they get their independence and they start like really pushing. But we don't look. A few years from now, it's going to be a whole new world, and everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, they're pretty busy at this point.
Yeah, you're doing great, sister.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I love you guys. Why not?
We love you too. Thank you, Megan.
And that's huge. I know that feeling of like wanting to say something and feeling nervous and like, I don't know if I should. I don't know. I don't want to. And look, yeah, that's a real thing. But the fact that you push past it, and anyone that wants to raise their hand or anyone that wants to do a live stream, anytime you push past whatever that boundary your ego is trying to set up for you, there's a level up. That's a big deal. And that sets the path, and now you've just transformed that. So now you just transform that for sent that energy out to millions of people of that leveling up energy. So you're not only helping your own evolution, but you're helping everyone around you, everyone you love. So that's the way it works.
Right.
Right on.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel that's definitely something I'm gonna like introduce more into the next segment of the streams and even the podcasts too as well, the late night podcast, and just like having like more people coming online and talking and sharing, expressing is definitely we gotta get this moving, and definitely if that requires us helping support others and helping inspire and motivate and help kind of nudge people in that direction. It's like you got to get out of the nest. You got to get the wings open, start flapping. You're never gonna know what it feels like till you do it yourself. So like you got to get out there and at least do it. You can keep the training wheels on for as long as you want, but you still gotta like actually ride this thing. No one's gonna tell you all the stories and fill your cup with experiences. You have to do that. And that's where I feel a lot of people, they just got to work past the lack of confidence, the anxiety and stress. And a lot of that's where you get your bravery and your courage from, is by still facing and pushing past that in yourself. And that's what builds, the courage and bravery. That doesn't just drop out the sky. You don't just like pick it up at the store. Like you have to generate that through your experiences for yourself and learn what that's like.
Yeah, for sure. And the beautiful thing that our brilliant design is that when we do push forward and we do say, okay, I'm going to do this whether I throw up or not, like when you push past that, a blessing comes. A blessing comes. It might be a small little blessing, like maybe your child goes to bed early for you or whatever, you never know, but a blessing will come, and that's what fuels you to do it again. All right, cool. I got confidence and I see where I leveled up, and look, I got this rainbow in front of me, so that's cool. So that fuels your fire to do it again and do it again and do it again. And before you know it, then we're all fucking embodied. That's how it works.
That is what we're all waiting for.
Yep. Keep moving forward. We got this.
Yes,
You got this.
Absolutely. Well, love, we are at the hour 14 mark left. Did you
Nice.
did you share everything you felt to express for this evening?
Yeah, I mean, this was really fun. I pray we can do this again because
We
this is really fun.
should.
Yeah, I'm definitely down.
All right, let's set the date multiple times on the calendar, probably 5 times a week. I was like,
Sweet, let's go. once I get started, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go live all the time now. So I'm ready.
Right?
Whatever. You
Let's
tell.
just feel
We'll
the
do it
momentum.
together.
Yes.
Let's just push the energy and set the tone for it, and just let's move forward. We gotta get the ball rolling, and I definitely saw that with Mom. Just like like when you just had to go, you just had to like, where's all the outlets, and just like full throttle through all of them. Just push, 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 and push. Don't look at everything. Don't sit there and watch the progress, like watching the pot boiling and everything like that. Just focus and go, and push with everything in yourself to move through those different layers, and you will be surprised. Once you reach somewhere, you're just like, wow, like I did that, like I made it, like I freaking actually did it. Instead of wasting all this time and thoughts and not actually getting anywhere with it. It's a trap.
I'm really grateful to have been on this live with you, George, and that it lined up beautifully the way angels always do. I'm really grateful. This has been really, really fun. I got a new spark ready to go. We do cards next time, whatever. We'll let it happen organically. But I'm just really grateful. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out and holding space. And
Did you want to do
I
a
have
card
no
before we
idea
go?
what I just said. No clue.
Did you want to pull cards before we go?
Sure.
The famous Bobby pulling.
Yes, I have the Whispers of the Ocean deck right here. This is a big fan favorite. So I'm also definitely getting pinged to do a live stream with doing the exercises, to do some what's on that card, and to do some color work and whatever else. I'm getting pinged to do that. So this is a beautiful way for me to get my ass up. I'm really grateful. Thank you, angels, for shoving me in the right direction. All right. Oh, here we go. Interesting. Okay, so this is funny because if Nancy's watching, this is what Nancy always picks: the fish with the yellow teeth, with the yellow fish with the teeth. But it's talking about setting up parameters. It's talking about boundaries. And in these moments when you're having these awakenings and you start talking about things that people don't understand, and you're like, wait, and people are looking at you like you're crazy, and friends drop off, it's about, I feel like the angels are saying, it's okay to set up boundaries with people that are not assisting you in your evolution. It's okay to say, you're not helping right now. I love you, but if you don't want to talk to me about what I want to talk about, then there's equal energy exchange happening everywhere. It's okay for you to say, no, this is not working for me right now. I love you. And I'm not saying ghost people, because that's fucked up. Don't ghost people. But it's okay to have that conversation of, I know you're not feeling me and I'm not feeling you. So maybe this conversation that we're having right now needs to end. I've had that myself, where I've had somebody in my face, like screaming like weird, horrible things. And I'm grateful for the reaction of, if you're not going to change this direction, then we're going to have to stop talking. So you respect my boundaries, and that doesn't mean that you keep going and pummeling on them. It means that it's okay for you to say, what you're saying right now doesn't resonate with me, so we're going to stop this conversation now and change the direction of the energy, or we just stop the conversation altogether. Setting boundaries. Does that make sense? I don't even know what I just said. Does that make any sense?
No, absolutely. Definitely, and that's the point too. Is recording that the boundaries are temporary. They expand and grow as we expand and grow. And I feel like we have such a habit of getting set in our ways that once we set a boundary, it ends up becoming a law, like literally a law inside that we never change ever again.
Yes, just because something's true in this moment doesn't mean it's going to be true in the next moment.
Right.
So just because something's happening now doesn't mean that is set in stone. It means be fluid. It means stay present. Always comes back to staying present. I don't know. That's what I got.
Beautiful, wonderful
I
ending
love
to
you,
the stream,
Georgie.
love. I
I
love
love
you
all you
too.
guys.
It's been awesome, Bobby. Thank you so much for being on the stream with us today, love. It definitely was fun. Enjoyed it. Definitely lightens up the energy a lot, and definitely do this. We can do this more often. This is
Yes.
definitely something. We can bounce around different topics and things. And I was feeling into different segments for once we more so next month probably starting that. Like the evening stream and stuff like that. So this will be definitely pretty fun.
Yes. I feel you, brother. I love it. I feel you. Let's do it.
Alrighty, I'm down for that. Well, we love every single last one of you, beautiful folks, and Five Beautiful Disclosure is here to support every last one of you. Book your sessions. Products, colloidal silver, things for your body. Beautiful love butter. You name it. Definitely, this is the moment to hold emergency brakes. What are the tools you're working with? Do you need to clear them all out? Do you need to completely reset everything? I've had many moments in my life where I've just had to just reset, clear everything, start all over again. And maybe that's something that we need to do more, for ourselves, because the things we're doing are not working. So focus on yourself, love yourself. What are your practices, your disciplines that you need to put into effect to get you back in alignment with love and centered and grounded? Because it's going to be a roller coaster ride the rest of this year. So you don't do the preparation work, you have no one to point the finger to but yourself. Okay?
Yeah.
Drink lots of water too. These energies are hot, and I feel like we're still in the middle of the solar flare, whatever thing going on. So that that's definitely bringing a lot of pressure. If you feel a lot of energy in your back of your neck, in your skull, the back part of your head, a lot of that is it's a control, and that's what this energy is going to do. It's going to trigger the control. If you are tense and compressed, and you're not flexible and loose, it's going to feel like a freaking lightning bolt going down the back of your head.
I got it right now, George.
Yeah,
Right now.
yeah. Let go of the control. Work on being relaxed. Be fluid. Drink lots of water. Let go of all resistance, let go of all control, and just literally just let yourself flow. Because this energy is hot and it's got a lot to come through. So we're gonna climb up. It's like, okay, all right, you want me to put it? All right, and it's gonna cram all the energy. You're just like, oh my god, oh please stop, please. It's like as if someone's just turning the volume all the way up, And I've had those moments. Other people have had them, So, be prepared. Don't be so tense. Don't be so anxious. Work on being as grounded as possible. Not carefree, but peaceful. Okay, definitely stay in the flow. And if you stay to your practices and disciplines, just to give you a little insight, your body is it literally is learning in every moment. Okay, so if you give your body a consistent thing every day, a consistent practice, consistent grounding practice, whatever like that, your body can actually trust in that. So if it knows it's getting that every single day, you're going to be able to be more grounded, more trusting, more vulnerable, more here, because you're taking your body through that process. What do we do for elderly, sick people, right? We got to take care of them, move their body in and out of the shower, turn them into bed, and things like that. You have to learn to move yourself through a cycle, through a process. And this is what these energies are pushing you to do. So, be prepared, get your water, be grounded, get your journal, write these things down, express. Do not bottle it up. If you bottle up, you will have explosions and pop-offs, which will be necessary, but we can prevent a lot of the chaotic experiences if we just focus and spend time with ourselves. Just a summary, basically, of all that. Spend time with yourself.
Brother.
But yeah, that's all I got to.
Beautiful. Thank you, Georgie. Love you.
Absolutely. I love you
all
too,
y'all.
Bobby. Love you all. Take care of yourself. We will be back tomorrow morning at 4 p.m. or 4 a.m. This is not working. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Mountain Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Time for morning live stream with Buddha and Jerry, and there will be a a podcast tonight. But let's give it to our beautiful guest, Arkea Bui, right here, and just for the beautiful wisdom of the Divine Feminine. So, We're here.
Thank you. I love you. Love you.
Absolutely. Love you. Take care of yourself. And everybody have a beautiful night.